In this episode of Highlight Sundays, mobile PSAs and color. Hello and welcome back to Highlight Sundays. It is the 34th week of 2013 and here are your highlights. We start off with a PSA by Gizmodo. This article is entitled, "It's easy to seem popular when a virus gives you Instagram followers." The virus responsible for these attacks is a virus called Zeus. Now apparently this is a virus that has been around for quite a long time, 5 years according to the article. This is actually a very prevalent virus. Apparently it is found on hundreds of millions of PCs worldwide. And basically this is one of those more versatile types of viruses because really it belongs to a botnet kind of setup. What that means is that infected computers can actually be remotely controlled by a single computer, which will then actually make those bots do whatever it wants. And this is what you can actually use to buy likes or followers on Instagram. All you have to do is to actually send some money to whoever is controlling the botnet and they will set it up for you. Now this is actually a very interesting use of a botnet. Traditionally, you would use them to do things like denial of service attacks, or to even do things like farm for credit card numbers, farm for email addresses, that kind of stuff. The fact that now botnets are actually used to manipulate statistics on social media goes to show how, people are actually putting more and more emphasis on social media. It's interesting to see what lengths people will now go to actually, fluff up the numbers on their social media. At any rate, this isn't the hugest PSA in the world because there really isn't much closure to this issue. So I suppose all there is the usual advice. Make sure you run, periodic virus scans using updated virus scanning software. Don't fall prey to, basically any virus at all. And most importantly, don't get yourself stuck in a botnet because that's terrible. We move on to a second article on security. This is written by Ars Technica and is entitled, "Seemingly Benign Jekyll App Passes Apple Review, Then Becomes Evil." So this is actually an interesting way to game the iOS App Store. As you know, pretty much all app submissions to the Apple App Store actually need to be reviewed by Apple, just to make sure that it doesn't violate their terms of service, it isn't malware of any kind. So this app mentioned by the article actually tries to work around that. This is actually an experiment performed by the Georgia Institute of Technology, and basically what they've done is they've created an app that looks, okay like a normal app. Once the app passes the review stage, people can then download the app. And well, in this case, people did. So when the app was actually downloaded to the phone, it actually rearranged its own code and became a malicious app. The researchers were of course nice enough to actually leave the app up for a very short period of time. The only people who downloaded it are people involved in the experiment, and they were actually able to show that the app managed to transform itself based on some instructions from a remote computer. The app was then able to actually send emails, send tweets, send messages, gain access to photos, attack other apps, even go online and try to download more malware. So there you go, an extremely interesting way of actually gaming a tried and tested system. We actually have proof that it works, so well, hopefully Apple actually responds to this and somehow tries to cut it out. We move on once again to the land of Android 4.3. This article comes from GSMArena and is entitled, "Minor Android 4.3 Update Rolling Out to Nexus Devices." According to the article, this is a very tiny update, it's just a 2 MB update, so we wouldn't be expecting any new features of any sort. I couldn't actually find any information on, what are the changes brought about by this little update. There has been a plethora of bugs regarding, the Nexus 4 not being able to successfully update, some Nexus 7 devices getting weird touch issues. Both of these are articles we've covered before, and I wonder if this new update actually attempts to fix any of these issues. Either way, if you own a Nexus device, well, this update will be rolling out to you in a very near future. So let us change up the tone a little bit, and let us look at an article from a site called TwistedSifter. This article is entitled 20 Historic Black and White Photos Colorized. Now, you know how colorization works. You take a black and white photo and you add color to it. It's really quite a simple concept, but it takes skill to actually make the effect look good. There really isn't a whole lot for me to cover regarding this article. All I have to say is I highly encourage you to check it out. Very nicely done colorizing on these old photos. I don't confess to fully understanding the context behind, all of these photos, but well, I recognize Einstein when I see him. Apparently there is a recent trend of some sort that involves colorizing black and white photos, and if you feel like you want to be caught in this craze, we actually have a bonus article for you today. This bonus article comes from Gizmodo and is entitled "A Photoshop Crash Course in Colorizing Black and White Photos." Primarily in this article there's a video, you're meant to watch the video and learn, but the text of the Gizmodo article itself also links you to the creator's webpage, where apparently he has text instructions if you prefer to follow that. So yeah, do check out these articles. Links, as always, are in the video description. Well, that's all there is for this episode of Highlight Sundays. Once again, nothing to vlog about, everything is going well. That's all there is for this episode of Highlight Sundays. If you have any comments, queries, or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow the official Twitter account for this channel at twitter.com/0612tv. As always, I appreciate every like, favorite, and subscription you give me. But until next time, you're watching 0612TV.